Margot Robbie has carved a distinctive place for herself in Hollywood, known for her versatility and magnetic presence on screen. Born on July 2, 1990, in Dalby, Queensland, Australia, she began her rise to fame with her role in the television series, Neighbours. This breakthrough led to her Hollywood debut alongside Leonardo DiCaprio in The Wolf of Wall Street, where her performance as Naomi LaPaglia garnered critical acclaim. Since then, Margot has taken on a diverse array of characters, from the iconic Harley Quinn in Suicide Squad to the ambitious journalist in Bombshell. Beyond her acting prowess, Margot is celebrated for her charm and philanthropy, making her a beloved figure among fans and peers alike. Her robust public persona blends elegance with an approachable demeanor, inviting admiration from all corners of the globe. However, it was during an unassuming flight, one she had boarded amidst a busy filming schedule, that Margot's narrative took an unexpected turn. Little did anyone know that their journey would soon hinge on the instinct and resolve of this Hollywood starlet. As she faced an unforeseen crisis head-on, the stage was set not just for storytelling but for heroism. At 30,000 feet, the flight in question was a regular domestic trip from Los Angeles to New York City, a bustling route frequented by business travelers and tourists alike. On board were approximately 150 passengers, a mix of families heading for vacation, professionals attending meetings, and even a few fans eager to catch a glimpse of Margot Robbie herself, who was traveling for an upcoming film project. As the aircraft ascended into the clear blue skies, passengers settled into their routines, some engrossed in movies, while others chatted or worked on their laptops. The atmosphere was relaxed, filled with the hum of conversations and the faint sound of in-flight entertainment. Little did they know that their calm journey would soon be disrupted. About an hour into the flight, the captain made an announcement about a minor technical issue with one of the engines, assuring everyone that it was manageable. However, moments later, the situation escalated dramatically as alarms blared throughout the cabin. Passengers exchanged anxious glances as the plane began to shudder violently, plunging them into a terrifying reality that no one had anticipated. In that moment of chaos, Margot's instincts kicked in. This was not just any ordinary flight anymore. It was a race against time. As the plane cruised at 30,000 feet, a low rumble echoed through the cabin, initially overlooked as a commonplace sound of air travel, but within minutes, a violent shudder jolted the aircraft, sending drinks and belongings tumbling to the floor. Passengers gasped in disbelief as an unsettling silence fell over them. Anxiety rippled through the aisles. Suddenly, alarms blared, piercing the air with an urgency that demanded attention. The captain's voice crackled over the intercom, attempting to reassure everyone by stating that they were experiencing engine failure but were taking measures to stabilize the situation. Moments later, however, another jolt rocked the plane, accompanied by a strong vibration that felt like turbulence, only much more severe. Eyes widened, fear set in. Mothers clutched their children tightly while businesspeople exchanged worried glances. Some passengers whispered prayers, while others frantically reached for their phones or looked toward the flight attendants for guidance. Margot watched all this unfold with a mix of disbelief and determination. It was clear that the calm exterior of Hollywood glamour had melted away in an instant. With adrenaline surging through her veins, she knew it was time to act rather than wait for help. This was not merely another scene, it was real life unfolding in frightening ways. Margot Robbie was on the flight for a promotional event tied to her latest film, a project that had garnered significant buzz in Hollywood. Having just wrapped up a day of interviews and press appearances, she felt both exhausted and exhilarated, looking forward to the excitement that awaited her in New York. However, those moments of anticipation quickly turned into a stark confrontation with reality as the plane's emergency unfolded. As the aircraft shook violently, memories of her acting training rushed through her mind: how to stay composed under pressure, how to communicate effectively, and most importantly, how to lead. Unlike typical film scenarios where she played a character navigating a scripted crisis, this was real life, with real stakes. The instinct to protect not only herself but also those around her surged within her. Margot noticed the panic-stricken faces around her, children clutching their parents, businesspeople frozen in fear. It was then that she remembered the camaraderie often fostered on set during tense scenes. With determination igniting her spirit, she resolved to rally the passengers and provide them with the reassurance they desperately needed. Margot instinctively stepped into a role far more critical than any she had ever played before, becoming a beacon of strength amidst chaos. With the plane trembling beneath her, Margot quickly assessed the unfolding crisis. She took a deep breath, instinctively scanning the cabin for signs of panic and distress. Her heart raced, but she focused on the immediate environment, noting the expressions of fear etched on the faces of passengers nearby. It was clear that this was no ordinary turbulence. Genuine concern gripped the atmosphere. Margot's mind raced through potential actions as she recalled emergency protocols she had encountered in various roles. She understood that calmness would be critical. Spotting a flight attendant struggling to maintain composure, she approached her and offered a reassuring nod, silently communicating that they needed to work together. Margot quickly turned her attention to the passengers, raising her voice above the din to share encouraging words. "Everyone, please listen," she urged, trying to project confidence. "We need to stay calm and follow the crew's instructions." As she spoke, Margot noticed a young child crying in the window seat. Desperation fueled her resolve even further. She moved closer to him, kneeling down to assure him it would be okay, embodying an anchor of hope amidst uncertainty. It was in that moment that Margot realized her role was not just about leading others but also about nurturing their collective spirit in the face of danger. Feeling a surge of adrenaline, Margot swiftly moved towards the front of the cabin, her voice steady and commanding as she called for the flight attendants. "We need to work together," she urged, galvanizing them into action. She quickly assessed their needs, realizing they required support to manage the panicking passengers while ensuring safety protocols were followed. With her heart racing but her mind clear, Margot took it upon herself to circulate through the aisles. She addressed each row directly, her presence igniting a glimmer of hope. "Everyone, let's take a deep breath together," she instructed, guiding them in unison. "We're in this together, and we will get through it." Her calm demeanor began to reverberate through the cabin, easing the tidal wave of fear that had overtaken many. As she continued to communicate with the flight crew, Margot remained vigilant. She ensured passengers followed their instructions closely, reinforcing their need to stay seated and ensure their seatbelts were fastened. Each interaction became an opportunity to offer reassurance. When a mother expressed concern for her child, Margot knelt down beside them, making eye contact and reassuring them both. In that moment, she wasn't just an actress, she was a leader guiding her fellow travelers through one of life's most terrifying experiences. In the midst of the chaotic emergency, Margot Robbie's extensive acting background provided her with crucial skills that proved invaluable in crisis management. Her ability to focus under pressure, honed over years of performing in high-stakes scenes, allowed her to remain composed while others around her panicked. She instinctively utilized her communication skills to articulate clear and calming messages, ensuring that her words resonated with the frightened passengers and encouraged cooperation. Margot's understanding of teamwork was pivotal as she collaborated seamlessly with the flight crew. She recognized that the airline staff were equally in need of support and direction, so she made it a point to check in with them frequently, reinforcing their confidence as they executed safety protocols. This collective effort fostered a sense of unity among passengers and crew alike, creating an atmosphere where everyone felt empowered to contribute. Furthermore, Margot's empathy shone through as she addressed individual concerns. Her ability to connect with people on a personal level reminded everyone that they were not alone in their fear. By applying these lessons from her acting career, Margot transformed the dire circumstances into a shared experience of resilience and hope, providing vital leadership when it mattered most. As the emergency unfolded, the flight crew quickly recognized Margot Robbie's proactive approach and embraced her involvement as a valuable asset. The captain, having assessed the situation from the cockpit, communicated directly with the flight attendants, acknowledging their training and emphasizing the importance of remaining calm. "We need to work together," he urged, reinforcing the protocols they had practiced extensively during training. Margot's presence infused a new level of energy into the crew, prompting them to collaborate more effectively. The lead flight attendant, encouraged by Margot's calm demeanor, began to delegate roles more efficiently, ensuring that each crew member was focused on their specific tasks. While some managed the passengers, others prepared for potential emergency procedures. The pilots maintained constant communication with Margot and the crew, providing updates on their attempts to stabilize the aircraft. They appreciated her leadership and relied on her to help maintain morale among the passengers. As Margot continued to circulate through the aisles, she regularly checked in with the flight attendants, offering support and encouragement as they worked together to navigate the crisis. This seamless collaboration highlighted not only Margot's adaptability but also the crew's dedication to ensuring the safety of everyone on board, transforming panic into coordinated action. As the crisis escalated, several challenges emerged that tested both Margot Robbie and the flight crew's resolve. The initial mechanical failure, the alarming engine shudder, created a whirlwind of panic among passengers, many of whom were unsure of what was happening. The fear was palpable, with some individuals crying out in distress while others clutched their seats in terror. Margot recognized that managing this emotional turbulence was just as critical as addressing the technical issues. Amidst the chaos, communication became strained. Passengers were too preoccupied with their fears to listen effectively to the crew's announcements. To combat this, Margot took it upon herself to bridge the gap between the frightened voices and the calm authority of the flight attendants. She encouraged them to leverage short, clear messages and visual signals to grab attention amid the cacophony. Additionally, there were logistical hurdles as the crew attempted to prepare for an emergency landing while simultaneously ensuring passenger safety. Margot assisted by directing passengers to return to their seats and fasten their seatbelts, using her presence to inspire confidence. Each obstacle, whether it was managing fear, maintaining order, or coordinating emergency procedures, was met with a combination of Margot's leadership and the crew's training, transforming a dire situation into a cohesive response effort. As the plane continued to shudder uncontrollably, the captain and co-pilot worked frantically to stabilize the aircraft. Despite their best efforts, the engine issues persisted, leaving them with little choice but to prepare for an emergency landing at a nearby airport. The tension in the cockpit was thick, every second counted as they communicated with air traffic control, relaying their precarious situation while assessing their descent path. Meanwhile, Margot remained a pillar of strength in the cabin. She helped maintain order as the flight attendants prepared passengers for landing procedures. This is going to be a bumpy ride, she reassured them, her voice steady amidst the chaos. With each passing moment, she could feel the heightened anxiety radiating from her fellow travelers. As they approached the airport, alarms blared once more, a final reminder of the perilous circumstances. The crew executed a series of checks, but there was still uncertainty. Margot watched as the flight attendants demonstrated brace positions, guiding passengers through what was about to happen. With a jolt that made everyone grasp their seats tightly, the plane touched down hard on the runway. Relief flooded over Margot as she felt the wheels finally grip solid ground. They had made it. The collective gasp of relief echoed through the cabin, a testament to their resilience through an unimaginable ordeal. As the plane finally came to a stop on the runway, a palpable wave of relief washed over the cabin. Passengers burst into tears of joy, clinging to one another as they processed the near disaster they had just survived. Margot Robbie, still in her role as a leader and source of comfort, took a moment to absorb the emotional gravity of what had transpired. Once the fasten seatbelt sign was turned off, Margot moved through the aisles, checking in on passengers. She offered hugs and words of encouragement, her genuine concern radiating warmth in the aftermath of the chaos. "You all did so well," she reassured a family who had been particularly frightened, their young daughter still trembling in her mother's arms. The flight attendants, visibly exhausted but grateful, exchanged grateful glances with Margot, acknowledging their shared experience. "Thank you for your help," one of them said, her voice shaky but filled with gratitude. As they deplaned, Margot stayed behind to thank the pilots and crew for their bravery and professionalism during such a trying ordeal. In that moment of shared relief and camaraderie, Margot understood that even in fear, human connection could shine through, turning a traumatic experience into a shared bond of resilience. In the aftermath of the harrowing incident, media outlets quickly seized on the story, leading with sensational headlines that focused on the dramatic nature of the near crash. As news spread, Margot Robbie's name became synonymous with heroism, with various reports highlighting her composure and leadership during the crisis. While some tabloids opted for sensationalism, framing the event as a near catastrophe, more reputable news sources emphasized Margot's quick thinking and ability to rally passengers and crew alike. Social media platforms erupted with discussions surrounding the incident, where clips of Margot's calm reassurances were shared and praised. Fans and commentators alike lauded her for stepping up when it mattered most, showcasing not only her bravery but also her innate compassion for those around her. In interviews following the event, Margot humbly downplayed her role, crediting teamwork and the professionalism of the flight crew. Nonetheless, her actions during that critical time resonated deeply with many. The public's fascination with the story culminated in heartfelt narratives of courage and resilience, reinforcing the notion that even in moments of fear, individuals can rise to meet challenges with grace and fortitude. Reflecting on the intense experience of the flight, Margot Robbie expressed a profound sense of responsibility that accompanied her role in that crisis. "It's fascinating how ordinary moments can turn into something extraordinary," she remarked in a post-incident interview. Margot recognized that courage isn't just about grand gestures, rather, it often manifests in everyday situations where individuals must rise to meet challenges head-on. She shared her realization that everyone is capable of heroism, especially when faced with fear or uncertainty. "In moments of crisis, we can either crumble or step up," Margot noted, emphasizing that her actions were fueled by instinct rather than a conscious decision to be heroic. Her experience reinforced the belief that true bravery often lies in how we support one another and harness our collective strengths. Margot also acknowledged the emotional weight carried by both passengers and crew during such incidents. "We're all humans navigating through fear, and it's these connections that make us resilient," she reflected, recognizing that shared experiences foster unity and understanding. Ultimately, Margot emerged from the ordeal not just as an actress but as someone deeply aware of the potential for unexpected heroism within us all, reassuring others to embrace their capacity for strength amidst life's unpredictability. The incident involving Margot Robbie's flight has sparked critical discussions around aviation safety protocols and the need for enhanced training measures for both crew and passengers. In the aftermath, experts in aviation safety highlighted the importance of ensuring that flight attendants are well prepared to handle emergencies, not just with technical skills but also in emotional management. The public's interest and scrutiny prompted aviation authorities to consider reviews of current guidelines regarding passenger briefings and emergency preparedness drills. As stories emerged about Margot's calm leadership, many flights began incorporating more robust training simulations that emphasize real-time crisis scenarios, encouraging attendants to practice their responses in a variety of stressful situations. Additionally, there's a growing consensus on increasing communication clarity, not only during crises but also in routine pre-flight announcements, reinforcing awareness and readiness among passengers. The convergence of public attention and expert insights may lead to systematic changes in how airlines approach emergency protocols. This incident serves as a poignant reminder that unexpected challenges can arise at any moment, and it is vital for both crew members and passengers to feel empowered and prepared. The impact of Margot's experience may ultimately lead to a safer flying environment for everyone, emphasizing proactive measures over reactive ones in the world of aviation. In the wake of the crisis, Margot Robbie emerged with a renewed perspective on her life and career. This experience not only tested her instincts but also reshaped her understanding of heroism and responsibility. "I never imagined I'd have to step up in such a way," she reflected, acknowledging that moments of extraordinary courage often arise in the most unexpected circumstances. Margot's actions during the flight served as a reminder that true leadership can manifest in everyday scenarios, where individuals find the strength to support others in times of fear and uncertainty. She realized that her role was not just about being an actress but about embodying resilience and empathy, values that resonate deeply within her personal philosophy. The incident has left a lasting legacy, prompting Margot to advocate for emotional preparedness alongside technical training in various fields, particularly in aviation safety. She hopes that sharing her story will inspire others to recognize their potential for bravery, encouraging people to embrace their capacity for leadership in everyday life. As she continues her career, Margot carries with her the lessons learned from that day, a testament to the power of human connection and the unexpected ways people can rise to meet challenges when it matters most.